Thanks for tuning in. Our next guest is Bart Andrews. He's had a website with Tattoo Now for a long time with his studio and his awesome partner. You should check out the website. It is unifytattoofl.com. His Instagram is at bartandrews.com. Nope, sorry, his Instagram is just at Bart Andrews. So while we're doing the interviews, feel free to check out his work. Bart, thanks for hopping on the show. I'm glad to do this again.
No, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. So, one of the things that we're going to be diving into this year is talking about the legacy that's tattooing is leaving behind as a community, and a lot of that stems from the history of tattooing. So I know that you've been working with some people that have had long histories in the tattoo world. Could you maybe share some of the stories about the history that you as you have heard it?
Oh wow, it's I come up tattooing in Jacksonville, North Carolina, which had its own little rich history at one point in time. You had Paul Rodgers building machines and stuff out of there. Huck Spalding and stuff that had a little Court Street stuff. Zeke Owens, Gil Monte, a lot of great, historical figures have came out of there. And so, of course, it was all these legends of, the shit that would happen back in the day. I started working for Steve Michoud, who owned Skin Art, who built machines with Paul Rodgers.
Awesome.
So being able to, early in my career to learn who Paul Rodgers was and tattooing flash off the wall that was Paul Rodgers or Robbie West or even some old Zeke Owens flash.
Awesome.
And there was some Hardy flash and this stuff that these guys all worked with in this little spot. I don't think Hardy definitely didn't come out there as much, but Zeke and them all, stuff that I was exposed to that stuff early in the career. And it was great and it was fun to do. But unfortunately, I was discouraged from trying to tattoo it like the masters did back then, which was always understandable because it was like this new horizon of, the new stuff of like the Tattoo Johnny Flash was coming out, and then
I remember.
everybody wanted like you go for the Boog Flash, or you wanted the Capo Flash, or you wanted the
Like Dave Bolts,
Paul
probably.
Paul Booth and the Tyrell stuff, which was all great on his own. So I was kind of pushed into forget that old shit. Nobody wants to tattoo it. Nobody wants it. Let's do this hot new shit.
The
new fad. Well, I'm getting started in my career. Well, I should have learned more about the foundations from that original stuff that was put out then, and a little more to history. And it wasn't until after I'd left and later on, or even there later on, that I started really paying more attention to what was there before me.
Sure. Awesome. And so, was there like a military base there? Why do you think that the tattoo scene was there? It just happened to be the artists that were popping up?
It was 100% military base. It was Camp Lejeune. It was the home of Camp Lejeune, the largest Marine Corps base on the East Coast.
Oh, no, crazy. And so was that a steady work, or was it? Or was it like come and go, or?
It was pretty steady year round. You'd have your up and down stuff. You could always tell when guys were in and when they weren't, but it was there was always so many people there. It was steady. So even though it was not the best location environment as far as a family or just a living, because outside the tattoo industry there was nothing. Mm-hmm. It was crap,
Right, sure.
But it did allow a lot of repetition in tattooing, and which helped me, develop some of my skills a little bit. So.
Yeah, cool. About how long did it take for you to really be comfortable? I mean, obviously you're comfortable enough to tattoo on people when you start, but how long did it take for you to figure out how to be, how to start being comfortable with the tattoos if you've gotten there? Some people never do.
It's one of those things. That's a good question and a point to make. It's like started tattooing in 2002 now. So this coming September, it'll be 17 years of tattooing. I still get nervous as shit every day. Sure. It's like I'm designing stuff, and so many things have changed. But the fact that I get nervous, it never goes away.
Well, it's a heavy responsibility, eh?
It's a huge responsibility, and I'm gonna say it probably took the first 10 years to get comfortable enough when a client comes. It was 100%. I got this, don't worry. Or either, you know what, this isn't what I do. I'll hook you up with somebody that can do this.
Sure.
But
Sure.
we were just, I was taught, it was like, hey, I don't give a shit what comes in the door. You fucking tattoo it. Or, I'll find somebody else that will tattoo it. And that means I'm out of my job. Not that I'm going to still
Right.
tattoo. They'll find somebody else in my
Sure.
chair.
Sure.
So it didn't matter if I was fucking it up or not. It was like, you get it done. And all I could do was pinch my ass cheeks together and hope that I was going to make the client happy enough to not lose my job or have
Sure.
some pissed off Marine coming trying to hunt me down.
Maybe first we should talk a little bit about some of the clients and the styles of tattoos that you enjoy doing on a regular basis when it's not like convention time and things get crazy. And then we could maybe talk about some of the different styles that you have at the shop.
Yeah, everything's kind of really wide open for that goes because like there again taking it back to my years of working in the military town and in the street shops, you didn't really have a choice of, oh, I'm going to choose this style and this
Sure.
is what I'm going to specialize in.
Yeah.
For those guys out there that come up now and they can just specialize in a style and that's all they do, good on you, buddy.
Sure.
Or lady or whichever what it is and enjoy every bit of that. But that's not how it was. We had to do everything from the old Eric Inksmith flash, which is still classic and one of my actual, I'm gonna say heroes of tattooing because he's solid and still to this day over 70 years old and putting out tattoos that are so damn solid.
That's great. He's still tattooing at 70 now.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, it's amazing. And a positive attitude that goes along with it, which is great. But if I have seemed to where we're at right now, I started because I was open to trying and pushing the envelope for multiple styles. I wanted to be the best at whatever I did. And stuff started attracting me to realism because I'm seeing it. And I've been pushed into, man, that's the hot shit. If you can do that, that's the hot shit. That's the hot shit. And there was nobody in the town that could even get close to realism.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing a lot of black and gray and trying. And then, I met my wonderful wife in that town.
And you're like, I'm never tattooing black and gray again. She's so awesome.
Yeah, yeah, so awesome.
Yeah.
And then I realized I didn't know shit about it, black and gray.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know nothing about it. And, I met this Pepper and, just chick was just like so cool and so awesome and just wide open. And like, I'm looking at her work and I'm like, what the fuck? I only see stuff like this in the magazines.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And then she's right here. And she looked at me and she's like, okay, it's okay. I'm like, thanks. Damn it, it's okay. She was a good friend and stuff, but she was very supportive in pushing me into really paying attention to what I thought I was doing and realizing why I needed to change. So from that point forward, I really focused a lot on the black and gray for a long time, or trying to do portraits, or replicating like even the Geiger
Cool.
style of tattooing and stuff. But I kept getting drawn back into my fascination with Japanese and stuff. So I was like, all right, cool, this is great, blah, blah, blah. And, like seeing the Rubendahl and then Shige and then Philip Blue. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then going back into seeing prints of Konyoshi and then Horiyoshi 1 and then 2 and then all this stuff.
Down the rabbit hole.
I just dived down it and I didn't know where the hell I was going to go. So I just really wanted to do, it was like if somebody come to me and they wanted something, then I wanted to pay attention and try my best to do it as true to the form as possible.
That's awesome.
So now, so now it's kind of, I still have a large black and gray clientele. It seems what the shop and generally wants to bring in. Because, well, we got Pepper here.
Yeah, everyone's looking at that out on the streets and like, where'd you go?
Where'd you go? Where'd you get that? So I like doing Japanese and even American traditional when I can. I never turn down a Japanese piece. I'm definitely not a Japanese master by no means. I try to study what I can when people want it, but doing all the black and gray and the color realism, anything from there is just kind of hard to focus on everything I want to.
Sure.
As far as the shop goes, Man, like I said, we got Pepper here. We got a couple of young kids working here, and I call them young kids. They're 30. I'm 40 now, so everybody's a kid to me. But with such great potential, we got Skyler that's working here, and he's focused a lot on like new school, neo-traditional and stuff, and he's getting really good. His shit's so clean and solid.
Awesome.
It's his own style too. Is he's not ripping off of other tattooers that are out there. Of course, he studies, sees what he's doing, but he's adding his own thing to it, so it's definitely original to him.
Yeah, it's great.
No,
Often when I'm talking with people, we talk about the importance of technical skills, but also like what do you have to say, and how does that come through in your art? It's what makes you different.
yeah,
And, that's great to be able to foster that with other people too.
yeah, it's great. We brought on another young kid back in September. His name's Mike Franco. He's focused a lot on black and gray stuff, which helps alleviate mine and Pepper's workload. We're fortunate enough, we can shorten our wait list for people to get tattooed because we trust him, and he's doing some good, clean, solid stuff to push him his way. And so, as far as that goes, we're around a lot of different things.
Awesome.
It's great.
And then do you have guest artists that come through, or how does that?
Yeah, we would always welcome to have more guest artists, but on a regular, we have James Vaughn comes in all the time.
Oh, cool.
There's a household name.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Our good friend Devin Coley comes here a lot. He's a good kid. He's up there tattooing around you, up in the Boston area. So he's clean, solid. Another one of those young kids that's like, man, I want to break your hands.
That happens quick, huh?
You tattooed for 5 years, and you guys are pulling this shit out, and it took me a lot longer to do that.
And how much do you think is that to do with the tools? If you were spending years figuring out, was it years figuring out machines, or is it just access to different knowledge, or?
I feel a lot of it is definitely the access to different knowledge and the exposure that we're getting nowadays, from i.e. Tattoo Now. And it's one of those things out there that people can go and see and the different influence of other artists. And that's been, you guys have been kicking that for a right good bit now. So
over 20 years.
Over 20 years. And then having that, and you going back to even stuff like when Ink Nation came out, and the past, like you said, 15, 20 years of exposure that's been putting out there at people's fingertips with the internet has really changed and advanced everybody's accessibility to stuff.
Sure.
You're not having to go and travel as much, but saying that, I feel also now where there's a rebirth of people wanting to travel and learn, where I feel like a long time it stopped, but now it's like, I want to go tattoo with this person. I want to go there. I want to do this. And there's a unlimited resource that people have now, as opposed to back when you had to write letters and mail photos and pen pal stuff back and forth to share things, in the older days. So advancement is
like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
The amount of information that is flowing through the amount of different channels just keeps growing. It's have you ever checked out Darwin Enriquez? He's at Last Rites now, and he's in that fucking VR shit, and he's making sculptures in 3D world. Oh,
yeah,
man.
I'm looking at it and going, all right, you know what? That's just ridiculous. That's a whole nother level of something I can't even wrap my mind around. To take the time to learn the process of development for that, and then, that goes back to Guy building sculptures and lighting it and all that stuff, and I'm going, where the hell does this guy find this time?
Sure.
I mean, what the hell? Are you a superhuman guy? I don't know. So,
not a lot of sleep, that's for sure.
No, not a lot of sleep at all. And I wish I had that type of motivation, honestly. And those guys are such inspiration to do that. And my hat's off to them.
Clearly, you're motivated to run the convention and stuff. Let's see. Let's talk about the convention a little bit. So you've obviously been going to lots of conventions for a long period of time, and then you started one up in a.
Yeah, I started doing conventions. I'm gonna think probably 2006, 2007.
Do you remember which one it was? What was your first convention?
First convention was definitely the Little John's show in Greensborough. Little John Barry, went there, and God rest his soul. It's no longer with us, of course. And then Billy Eason show with the original Richmond.
Oh, cool.
Doing all of that, and doing his summer show and the winter show for a long time.
Nice.
Um,
Those are great shows. I bet Jesse Smith and Kenny Brown have been picking up the Richmond mantle.
yeah,
And
yeah, I'm following some of that, and hey, what I've heard from those guys or seeing and stuff, and what I've heard from other guys that have gone and participated, and man, it sounds like they're bringing it back. If I'm not
yeah,
mistaken, it's back at the Kroger Center,
I
right?
believe it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're doing it justice. They're bringing a lot of energy is coming into it, and I had a great time
You
this
know,
last year.
I would like to
And,
put that back on my radar, in the future.
yeah, yeah. Well, if
We've got
anybody's interested, they should hit up. I guess I just hit it up online, the Richmond Tattoo and Arts Festival. But
nice.
so the show that you're doing then it's the Imperial. What's the official title for it?
Yeah, the official title is Imperial Tattoo and Art Festival.
Awesome.
ImperialTAF.com. Um, the many years of going to shows, like I said, from there and up and down, to Jersey for Mario Barf shows, down to the Tattoo Paloozas and some Tennessee's and all the little stuff in between. I didn't travel as heavy as a lot of my peers or colleagues have. Um, I was a full-time dad, and I did, running businesses, running 5 shops in North Carolina before, so it was like a little.
You were running 5 shops?
I was running 5 shops
Holy
at one
shit.
time. So and
That
then
explains the gray hair.
yeah, had over 30, 40 some different people work underneath me at
Oh,
different times. So it's kind of my travel schedule was not as much as I wanted to.
sure.
And I said that, I wanted to, host something because we didn't have anything in our area up there. So I started hosting the Cape Fear Tattoo and Arts Expo. Um, I founded that and started doing it. And a couple of years into it, I needed more help than I thought I needed. Done everything on my own to start with, and then come the second year, me and Pepper always been real good friends, and she started helping me out with a lot of stuff, and then we were partners on that until we ran it for about 3 more years. We moved to
Awesome.
Florida. We were going to continue for the 5th year of it, but cats away, mice play, and we decided to go out on a high note with it, and then shut it down.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so now we're doing the Imperial show down here, and teamed up with Inksmith and Rogers, and
Awesome. How did
to
that come about?
ah, I was sitting here for probably about a month or more at the time, and I was just felt compelled. We had been here, been idle. I've always got to be doing something. Pepper accuses me of, just putting too much on my plate all the time, and I can't just stop. I can't stop. It's always got to be something going on. So I was thinking about it, and I told her, I said, looked over at her one morning and said, hey, babe, we got to talk. And I said, I hadn't been, I've been thinking a lot, and, I really want to, I think we should host a show. And she goes, oh, shit, here we go.
Oh, there goes another 6 months off my fucking lifespan.
Yeah, yeah. So, it was funny. I talked to her, and she's such a wonderful, supportive wife and business partner and everything. She goes, okay, well, let's talk about it, before we make any decisions. What are you thinking, And I told her, I said, I don't want to do it without. I think we should bring in, talk to Angelo and everybody up in Inksmith and see if they want to be a part of this. And she's like, okay, well, if Angelo wants to do it with us, then we'll do it. I'm like, all right. So I hit up Angelo for a few weeks, and they were talking to him and stuff. And I'm like, hey, we need to meet up. I want to talk. And he's, oh, he's busy, 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 busy. It's always trying to lock us down. We're all busy. Finally on the phone, said, hey, man, we really need to talk. And he goes, God damn it, you want to host a convention, don't you? I'm like, yeah. So he's like, all right, fuck, let's do this. And it wasn't a hated thing. It was very much an excited thing, but we knew it was going to be a lot of work
Sure.
to get it all together. We've got angles from different views and perspectives and different upbringings in the industry, and the collective of different personalities. How is this going to work? That's the only thing that was really the hold up.
Sure, partnerships are tricky.
Partnership, tricky, yeah, very tricky. But the thing about it is, I've been friends with Angelo for many years, and they would come up and do our show in Wilmington, and so we already had a great rapport with each other and
You guys
moving
know
down.
how each other worked.
Yeah, so the different backgrounds, the respect on all ends and who we are, and it has definitely been a great working environment.
Wait, do you want to just look straight into the camera and do that pitch?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm very excited to see you at the Imperial Tattoo and Art Festival, April 12th through the 14th, 2019, second annual, held downtown Jacksonville, Florida at the Lexington Hotel and Conference Center. We've got a lot of great things upcoming to be announced too.